metropolitan area, West Nile, Elgon, and Karamoja regions, which are the main hotspots. As of 8 November 2020, the total number of COVID-19 confirmed cases stand at 14,574. Recoveries at 7,771, with 133 deaths registered to date, representing a case fatality rate of 1%. On the 6th of November 2020, the country recorded 13 COVID-19 deaths, the highest number reported in one single day. However, it is important to note that these deaths occurred over a span of 4 days, from the 2nd to the 6th of November 2020. 13 out of 14 of the deceased were male, and 90% were in the category of the vulnerable population, that is 50 years and above. Whereas we have noticed more mortality in this age group, please be reminded that we have lost people to COVID-19 in all age groups, including 20-year-olds. COVID-19 affects everyone of all age, tribe, and anyone is prone to progressing to severe form of the disease. This sends a strong message to everyone. Do not take lightly the preventive measures. It is important to adhere to the standard operating procedures set by the government in order to protect yourselves and your loved ones. With the current trend of infected cases increasing daily, the health system is overwhelmed and overstretched as we continue to admit more patients with severe forms of COVID-19. It is evident that the deaths will continue to increase if we do not adhere to the standard operating procedures that government has instilled. In regards to health worker infections, to date, a total of 971 health workers have contracted COVID-19, and of these, 9 have succumbed to the disease. This is a significant number. Analysis of our data shows that most of the health workers got infected through their interactions with the communities and not necessarily in the line of duty. I would like to appeal to all our health workers to wear personal protective equipment and follow infection prevention and control measures at all times. Please remember, as much as your patients need you, your families need you as well. I'll now move to phase lifting of the lockdown, and I'll begin with mass gatherings. As government continues to relax the restrictions in the control of COVID-19, the Ministry of Health is revising the regulations and the standard operating procedures for mass gatherings. You may recall that on the 20th September 2020, His Excellency the President announced resumption of schools specifically for the finalist and candidate classes, in addition to allowing the reopening of places of worship. We have since observed considerable compliance of the standard operating procedures in most schools and places of worship. And from the ongoing epidemiological assessments of the outbreak, we have not seen a concomitant increase of transmission related to this. As such, the Ministry of Health wishes to appreciate the respective leaders of the schools and places of worship and request you to do more to protect the communities from contracting COVID-19. noting that implementation of the standard operating procedures requires the people to be in manageable numbers, and bearing in mind the feedback from the umbrella religious organizations, the National Task Force directed the Ministry of Health, in consultation with the Scientific Advisory Committee, to review the situation and statistics which would inform the second part of Phase 4 lifting of the lockdown, in line with scientific principles of infection prevention and control and manageable numbers. In light of the information provided to the National Task Force, the National Task Force has directed the Minister for Health to inform the general public as follows. Number 1, that in addition to the basic standard operating procedures, also referred to as universal precautions for COVID-19 prevention, which include hand washing, physical distancing of at least 2 meters, and consistent wearing of face masks while in public places, mass gatherings for prayers, political rallies, meetings, and weddings shall not exceed 200 persons. In addition, Statutory Rule 13 shall be amended to allow meetings or gatherings of not more than 200 persons, provided the persons attending such events maintain a 2-meter distance in all directions from each other. Number 3, cinema halls under Sub-Rule B should also be allowed to operate beginning 14th November 2020, provided the persons attending such events maintain a 2-meter distance in all directions from each other. Number 4, in the same vein, the closure of gymnasiums and massage parlors under Rule 14, subsection 2, should be lifted, except that, in respect to gymnasiums, the persons attending such sessions should maintain a 2-meter distance in all directions from each other. Number 5, political rallies and processions. All aspiring politicians should ensure that their gatherings are limited to 200 people at most, and everyone must wear a face mask at all times. Maintain a physical distance of at least 2 meters on both the left and the right side and in front and behind, and make available hand-washing facilities with soap and water. Candidates are advised to avoid the use of open car routes and waving to the population while moving. Such acts attract mass gatherings which may be in the excess of 200 people with no social distancing. The candidates are advised to remain seated in their vehicles at all times while moving from place to place, and only wave through the car windows. Unnecessary stops along the way to speak to electorates are discouraged. Number 6, casinos and gaming outlets. Casinos and gaming outlets may resume operations after fulfilling conditions included in the standard operating procedures beginning Saturday, 14th November 2020. However, the hours of operation will be restricted to 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. The local governments, in consultation with the National Gaming and Lotteries Board, will inspect the gaming and casino places before they are allowed to operate. Continued monitoring will also be conducted to ensure adherence to the standard operating procedures. Mobile markets. Mobile markets attract large numbers of people with varied risk profiles from a wide range of geographical settings, and sometimes mobile markets. Mobile markets attract large numbers of people with varied risk profiles from a wide range of geographical settings and sometimes across countries depending on the location. The transportation of goods to and from the market is also done on trucks and other business vehicles, which are often very congested and increase the risk of transmission in transit. The relevant Ministry of Trade and Industry has developed standard operating procedures in consultation with Ministry of Health to enable the reopening of these activities. The mobile markets may begin their operations starting Saturday, 14th November 2020, if the local governments have empowered the leaders with the standard operating procedures. Bars and discotheques. In countries that have proceeded to a second lockdown phase, bars and discotheques have been identified as focal areas of spread. Considering the phase of the epidemic Uganda is in, with rising cases and deaths in urban areas, suspension on bars and discotheques will continue. The Ministry of Health will re-evaluate these activities in due course. In the interim, the owners are advised to explore other businesses like restaurants attached to their premises which are safer. In conclusion, the Ministry of Health would like to appeal to the general population to adhere to the preventive measures instituted by His Excellency the President and the standard operating procedures issued by the Ministry of Health in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in Uganda. Please wear a face mask while in public. Maintain a social distance of at least 2 meters. Wash your hands with soap frequently or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and avoid unnecessary movement to crowded places. Practicing these preventive measures and adhering to the standard operating procedures will enable us to sustain the gains we have achieved as a nation. COVID-19 is real, it is dangerous, and it kills like we are now experiencing. Stay safe, stay alive. Thank you for listening, and God bless.
Thank you.
Honorable, what happens to Patrick?
Enjoy great value from Airtel with the all-new My Pakalast combo offers. We have customized especially for you the best deals on minutes, data, and SMS with our 3-in-1 My Pakalast combo to give you the best value as you stay in touch with friends and family. To activate My Pakalast voice combo, dial *100*2*1# to get started.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Yes, yes!